Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel Coon and it's our Fun Fold Friday. Today we're making a really cute Snailed It Fun Fold card that pops up and slides down and is easy to ship. I'm going to hold while I flip and we'll get started. All right, just get that in the perfect light. Be sure to comment if you're watching live on Facebook today because one lucky person will get today's card that we make. And also, I love it when you share this or if you subscribe to my YouTube channel when you're watching that over on there as well. Let me show you today's card. So when it's opened up, it looks like this. We're using the cute little Snailed It stamp set, which will be retiring at the end of June. And the fun thing about this card is that it actually slides back down and you can ship it and lay it flat in a regular envelope. See that? Isn't that awesome? All right, let me go ahead and show you how we make this one and the stamps we'll be using. So we're using this Snailed It stamp set, and I have this cute little snail with the mail on his back. This one with a present, the hello, and this fun little word bubble as well. Also, we are using a couple of the dies you see inside, and this is my plug for the dies, which are currently 50% off through the month of June or while supplies last. So if you want this set, be sure to grab it so you can also get these awesome shapes. Look at this. It has a fun little square that's kind of like a stamp and then this mini envelope maker. Super, super cute dies and a great deal right now. All right. Be sure to look at my blog later on in the comments or in the link below because that's where you'll find all the measurements, and don't worry about writing them down if you can't think of them or hear them quick enough. This is going to be our card base for today's card. I'm using the Bermuda Bay, and it's 4 1/4 by 11. So it's half of a sheet of cardstock, and we have it scored lots of places. So let me tell you those numbers. I have it 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 5 1/2, so that's middle. Then we have 7 1/4, 8 1/4, and 10. For this one, what we do is go to that 5 1/2 with our paper trimmer. And we just need to cut a little slit out from there to fit our snail pop-up through. So what we're going to do is go ahead and line it up in here, and we're going to go about 1 centimeter. And if you look at your trimmer, you have a little grid line on here that you can use as a reference. I'm going to go just about here and press down and go till there's about 1 centimeter or half an inch. Sorry, not half, maybe more of 1/4 inch left. We'll look at it, see, I'm going to go a little bit more up on this one. We want to make sure that we can make it fit. Okay. That looks just about good. I'm just going to go a little bit more in this one, and that's kind of the thing. There's no real measurement for this one. You're just kind of eyeballing it and making sure. But you don't want to go all the way through, so just be careful. All right, let's give it a test run and see if our mat will fit through there. If so, that we know that we cut it far enough. All right, looks like we did a good job. All right, let's grab our paper trimmer and remove it. And next what we want to do is add on our DSP. So I have 3, let's see, I should have 3 different panels, and you can use whatever side you want. I really love these fun Bermuda Bay with little snail lines. And this is paper it will also be retiring by the end of the month as well. All right, so put some adhesive on the back, and right where that 5 1/2 that we just cut is where we're going to attach these pieces. Just like that. And then also we'll flip this one over and do that side as well. Lastly, we have this little piece of DSP that goes in the very front, and it's the same size on either one, so you just need to pick a side that you want to be your front. Okay, let's go ahead and set that aside and let it dry, and we'll keep on going to the other steps of our card. You're going to have a mat. I'm using the Pool Party and a basic white for our stamping on. And then we also have a cute little snail all ready to go and die cut it out. I'm going to show you this one because this stamp is special. And when you cut this one out, it leaves the words behind. So if you didn't want "You've Got Mail," you could easily just cut out that snail and you would just have the snail alone. Okay, so for the next part, what we need to do is measure an inch on the bottom. I know that when I stick this in, that's about 1 inch right here, and we don't want anything to be below that. Let me grab my paper trimmer. It's my easiest way for me to measure. I have my grid too, but I have it on the centimeter side. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to grab, that's my 1 inch mark, and I'm going to just grab a pencil. And we'll mark it right there just so lightly. So you know that our snail needs to be stamped above there. All right. We're going to grab our cute little snail with the presents and ink him up in the Memento ink because we want to color him with our blends. So we're using the Memento instead of Stays On. Just go a little bit above that pencil mark. Perfect. Then we need to do our word bubble. I was trying to make it look like they're having a conversation, like that little snail says hello to that little snail. That was my thought process for this one. You don't want to go up too high because a little part of this white will show. Ooh, and I made a little bit of a halo. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and we're going to try again. Let's see. Make sure we get that 1 inch. We'll use my grid this time. So a halo is something bad when you're stamping. It's perfectly fine on an angel, but you don't want halos when you stamp. And what happened is I had just rocked it and it gets this outline here. So let me grab something to wipe that with. And let me just make sure that we can be halo free for this one, hopefully. And we'll even do a practice. Okay, that looks pretty good. There we go. And lastly, we just need to stamp our hello right into our word bubble. Perfect. Put our ink away. And now it's time to color. So I have lots of stamping blends over here, lots of different colors to use. Or I should say probably 4 different shades of colors. Let's go ahead and do our cute little snail first. And we're going to use some of the Real Red for his little heart on the envelope. And I'm just using that little side of the blend, not the brush tip. Perfect. Then I have the petal pink, I think, yes. And we're going to go with the light petal pink for his body. I'm just using the brush side for this. Getting his little, I don't even know what those are called. Is it eyeball antennas? The way his eyeballs are attached? There should be a word for that. I'll have to look that up later. And then this part that I want a little bit darker, I'm just going over it a little bit more with that same color. Right there. If you wanted to go a little bit darker, you can even grab the darker one and color in on here as well. So very subtle, especially with this light color. Then we're going to grab our Pool Party light and color in his shell. And as you may know, these are not actual snail colors. Maybe like somewhere amazing, like a rainforest or something, but most snails are not this bright and beautiful. But we can have fun. That's the great thing about stamping them, that we can color them anything we want. So I just went over with that darker Pool Party, and I'm going to go over with the light one more time to get our blend lines a little bit better. So they're not so harsh. There we go. And let that one dry. All right, let's go ahead and do this big one over here. And we're going to use similar colors. We're going to use our Pool Party for his body. So they'll match. I'm just going to go ahead and use straight on with the dark for him. And go. And go over his little spots again. There we go. So we have lots of snails here in California because we have a lot of sea air. And so I see snails all the time. We're going to do the Bermuda Bay for this one, and we'll start with the light. And just, there's no rhyme or reason. I like to just go over the whole thing in the light and then go back over just some parts for the dark. Okay. Wink Castella would look amazing on these snails as well if you have some of that. I'll go ahead and do a little bit of the dark shading on the bottom of the shell. And again, I'm grabbing my light just to help blend in those two spots that I have, that where one color meets the next. I like that. Okay. So I'm not going to color this present, however. Instead, what I've done is I've stamped our cute little snail, the same guy here, with his present, onto a piece of DSP. And I have fussy cut it out, so it looks like a little present there. I don't know if you see, I know it's hard to focus on that little image. And we're just going to glue that down. And I did the same thing for this one, with just a different piece of DSP. For this style of card, we cannot embellish a whole lot because we need it to be able to slide through this fun fold. And so this I thought was a fun way to kind of embellish, but to keep it really flat. And when I fussy cut that out, I didn't even cut the bow. I'm using that bow from the other one. You see how cute that is? Oh, I love that. All right. So now let's go ahead and glue this onto our mat here. And you can see the side that we mess up on, and you can see how blends do bleed. And so that's why we want to have a mat on the back of this. So you can't see through our coloring. There we go. Smooth it out like that. And then if you wanted to write something, this is the part of the card that you could do it on, is on the back of this part here. Let's go ahead and set this guy aside. He actually needs a dimensional, so let's grab that and put it on his back real quick. Just about center. And let's grab our card base part again. So this is where it starts to build. We need to grab our bone folder and grab all of our score lines and go over them. Really good. The that score line we don't want to go over is that center 5.5. That's already pretty good right here from when we cut it, and we don't want to make it go any more than it already is. There we go. And just last guy right there. Okay. So for this part here, we're going to need some tear tape. Let's make sure we have it. Yep. We're going to put tear tape on both sides of these ends. You want a strong adhesive. So you have Seal Plus. That would work great as well for this part. But if not, tear tape will be perfect. All right. Okay, so we make sure we know where the front is, and we're going to slide our snail into our little hole here, and then we need to line it up so that this part right here is going to be glued on to here. So we're going to remove our tear tape and attach that there. Okay, so I'm going to keep it open so you can see what I'm doing. I'll just pull this down and put it like there. There we go. Next, what we need to do is go ahead and remove this tear tape here. And now attach it to this part over here, just like that. When I got done making this, my son said it looked like he had binoculars, and that's pretty much true. We're making 2 tunnels, and you want them to be as flush as possible so that when they lay it flat, that they will stand up. And just pinch that really good, or use your bone folder to help smooth that out. And there we go. We've made a really cute pop-up card that slides up and down. But don't forget your little snail for the front. And you want to make sure you just attach him so that his bottom doesn't go below that score line. So just have him right there. And you don't want any adhesive over his eye area as well. Super easy, right? Ah, love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching and for all your comments. Have a great weekend and happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.